Yo, I'm Bob, totally blind since birth, into Power Rangers, got the Shout Factory box set in my hands, talking about Season 2, Episode 10, or Episode 70 overall. This one's Welcome to Venus Island. It premiered on September 24th in 1994. So, in terms of my personal viewing order of the Green No More story arc, I like to watch this one usually the third episode in. It feels like a very dark and foreboding episode. It feels as if it takes place probably midway through this 6 episode story arc. Definitely after the Stag Beetle episode and the Power Stealer episode, I'd say. So in this episode, you have the kids. They're enjoying a day at the beach. Trini's next door neighbor Hallie's there. Trini's watching Hallie. You have Bulk and Skull pretending to be putties in order to lure the Power Rangers out. That's their scheme for this episode. And it's a very lighthearted scene. We're going to need that because, man, things get pretty heavy pretty quickly. So Richie's there. Trini's all head over heels for Richie. Bulk, I think he gets hit in the chest by some kid because Bulk's about to demolish his castle, or he does demolish the kid's castle, and I hope Bulk gets hit in the chest and nowhere else. So that's going on, and everyone has a good laugh over that, and I think it's Trini. She says, "Oh, how exactly like a putty." And on the moon, we see Lord Zed laughing as well, and then he says, "Oh, they dare to mock my putties, do they?" And I mean, when I was a kid and watching this episode, I remember thinking, well, you laughed too, so you must have thought it was pretty funny. I guess nobody mocks Lord Zed's putties but Lord Zed himself. So he sends Putties and Goldar to the beach to kidnap Hallie, Trini's next door neighbor. And he sends Goldar with a bottle of secret instructions. I'm not sure why Goldar needs this bottle. I think Goldar's a very smart warrior. Got a good head on his shoulders, but I don't know. Lord Zed loves secret messages, I guess. And Goldar, he does take some putties to the beach. They nab the girl. They vamoose, but Goldar drops the bottle of secret instructions, which the Rangers find. And when Goldar gets back to the palace, Zed asks him about the bottle, and Goldar says he lost it in the battle. And one of my all-time favorite quotes in Power Rangers history is Lord Zed saying, "What, a battle with a little girl? Oh, poor Goldar, that must have been fierce." And yeah, he falls back and punts though, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna take the girl to Venus Island as planned, and we're gonna ransom her. And our price, the Green Ranger, because of course Lord Zed is targeting Tommy yet again." So the Rangers translate the message. Zordon lets them know that Venus Island is something Lord Zed can call forth whenever he chooses, and he can also make it sink whenever the heck he chooses as well. So they have to build a tracking device to track the trade winds to Venus Island, in turn being able to teleport to Venus Island. So all this happens. They finally manage to locate the island. Man, Lord Zed does not want this place to be known. And the Rangers also find out that if they don't free Hallie from the island, they're going to make Hallie evil. And so they teleport to the island, and we have them kind of walking around. And it's one of my favorite locations in Power Rangers history. I really like Lord Zed's dark dimensions and different, alien locations like Venus Island. And when this episode took place the first time, I really didn't relate it to Green No More. But now I'm thinking, as an adult, hey, he's trying to make this kid evil. I'm wondering if he's maybe trying to work on maybe a prototype Dark Ranger project or something. We'll see that in Green No More. So the Rangers are looking for Hallie. Tommy's there too. They didn't really want him to go because his powers are not doing so hot by now. They're worried they could fade at any time, but Tommy, he went anyway. Lord Zed, he creates the invincible fly trap. And I used to have this monster when I was a kid. She came with a couple of weapons she didn't use in the show, but now that the Rangers are on the island, the monster attacks, and they morph into action. And this monster, man, she's really cool. She was always one of my favorite action figures when I was a kid. Yes, I wish Hasbro would make that. She had chest-snapping action in the old Bandai Evil Space Aliens line. I'm not sure what kinds of effect pieces they could give her if she were to be created in the Lightning Collection, but I love plant monsters. So yeah, bring her on at some point, Hasbro. So Invincible Flytrap devours 4 of the Rangers, and it is just Trini and Tommy left, and they've got to go back to the command center and regroup. And it's a pretty dark moment. They're not sure how in the world they're going to get everyone out of Invincible Flytrap's belly. I wonder if it's like another dimension in itself. The other Rangers are just trapped in there. And, of course, Tommy, he wants to surrender himself to Lord Zed. Everyone knows that's what Lord Zed wants. Zed wants Tommy in exchange for Hallie. And Trini doesn't want him to do it. But, man, Tommy just... It's a really touching and really memorable scene. I imagine he's having flashbacks to being under Rita's spell. And Tommy says, basically, I'm going to do this. And if I ever come back to hurt any of you, Trini, tell them for me that I'm sorry. And it was just one of those scenes that really hit me as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, man. It's a really awesome scene, really great acting by Jason David Frank there. Really choked me up when I was a kid for some reason. I don't know. And we got this, it sounded like the same to be continued theme that played at the end of Green with Evil Part 1. When we go to commercial break there after Tommy tells Trini what to tell the others if he should ever come back and hurt them, it sounds exactly like that to be continued bit from the end of Part 1 of Green with Evil. So, yeah, Alpha deduces that the weakness of the Invincible Flytrap is heat. So not all is lost. Tommy and Trini, they go back to the island knowing the weakness. And they let the others know, hey, make things hot for the Invincible Flytrap on the inside. So the guys use their power morphers. And she's all screaming and talking about how she's got heartburn. And eventually they do get out. They form the power blaster. And the Invincible Flytrap is kaput. But boy, she was an interesting monster. She didn't have any weapons. I think she just used her claws. So I guess they could give her some open claws and some closed fists if she were a Lightning Collection action figure. But yeah, she kind of went out like that. I mean, I think she was just there because you need a monster. It's a Power Rangers episode. But she was always one of my favorites. I love her high-pitched old lady voice, I guess. She kind of sounded like a cranky old lady to me anyway, screaming and carrying on. And then Lord Zed makes Venus Island begin to sink into the sea because he can't have the girl, he can't have Tommy, so he's just throwing a temper tantrum. And I love this bit because he's mad at Squat and Babu. He calls Goldar Melonhead, which reminds me of Abe Simpson calling Homer Simpson Melonhead in The Simpsons. It's a pretty cool nickname for Goldar. Squat and Babu are getting the rough edge of Lord Zed's tongue as well. The Rangers get to Hallie. They, I think Trini blasts this fog machine with her blade blaster. Everyone teleports out before the island's gone for good. And you know how Lord Zed is. He says they may be defeated for today, but he'll be back. And he's not too worried about Tommy either. I think he knows by now that Tommy's powers are living on borrowed time. So the episode ends with Hallie talking to Bulk and Skull about having seen the Power Rangers because she lets everybody know that, yeah, I saw them on the island. She says, yeah, there were 10 of them, of course. I think she's trying to throw them off the Rangers scent. And they've got this guy drawing, representations of them. And it doesn't go very well. I don't think they look like the Rangers at all. Bulk's mad. The episode ends with everyone laughing. And it was one of my favorites. I remember taping this on cassette tape back before I had a VCR that could record. I think ours was on the Frit, so for a while I just taped episodes on a little cassette recorder, and I would listen to the audio versions because that's all I really needed. And I remember doing this with Welcome to Venus Island. Wish I still had that. I think I taped the commercials too. I don't know why. But yeah, that was one of my all-time favorite episodes from Season 2. You gotta love the Green No More arc. I think it's a pretty sad 6-episode run here, watching Tommy's powers dwindle and seemingly nothing able to be done about it. So I guess next time we're going to be talking about Song of Guitardo. So be here for that. And may the power protect you.